Welcome into A to Z Sports anytime. I think that's what we'll start doing when it's after 7:20 when we get on here. Before 7:20, it's A to Z Sports prime time. After 7:20, it's A to Z Sports anytime. But either way, we're here, we're back, we're better than ever, and we're ready to talk about the one rookie that you all are actively sleeping on, or actively hating on based on some of the commentary I already see where the YouTube comments, for some reason, the YouTube comments get to start earlier than the rest of you, wherever you are live streaming the show. And there is already some argumentative, is that the word? Argumentative? That's the word that I'm looking for. Argumentative conversation going on between some of you as to one of these players we are definitely going to highlight. Now, there can be more than one, depending on how you look at this thing, but I have one in particular that comes to mind. Some of you may be able to guess, but we will save that part when you hear from that player here in just a little while. We're always happy to have you guys in for another episode of the Primetime Show. Bert was looking desperately for something to talk about, and this just happened to fall into our lap. So I'm looking forward to having this conversation here with you all together, because I do think it's an intriguing one about guys who can immediately impact your football team that are not just the quarterback. Because God knows, if the Tennessee Titans are to make a jump, like a meaningful jump, then Cam Ward can't be the only reason that they do so. Like, Cam Ward can be the primary reason that they do so, and should be the primary reason that they do elevate themselves and do work their way towards bigger and better things. But for the rest of this draft class, it's critical that they have an impact right away. They are going to be put in position to play right away. Now, maybe it's not all on offense or all on defense. Maybe they're going to have to find a role on special teams and also contribute on their respective sides of the ball. But this is a situation now for the Titans where there are many, many players out there that they need to hit on in this roster retooling or rebuilding, a rebuild in the true sense of the word, where they were forced to with the 3-14 season. Really take a hard and fast look at this roster and say, all right, we have to find contributors all over the place. Even if those players don't get us to, say, the playoffs right away, we can still make progress at this point in time. So we'll talk about the most slept on rookie, or the most actively slept on rookie. We will get to a weekend bounce back to conclude the show, as is the typical custom here on Thursday nights. We're always grateful for your participation. We need you guys to share the broadcast around Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch in the comment section. If for no other reason, you need to share this show around for Robert, because he's taking me to my first WWE match tomorrow. Well, I'm taking him to my first WWE match tomorrow, but that's all well and good. God knows he's going to need all of the strength that you can pass his way so you can make him happier by sharing this broadcast around. If you're on Twitter, retweet the show in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Facebook Live, you can share now to public. That's in the bottom left. YouTube, Twitch, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tell a friend to do the same. Maybe even text the link to a friend. And we will look forward to your participation and look forward to seeing new names in the chat as we get up and rolling here. Let's do it, because I can hear Leo screaming in the background and I don't want him to interrupt the show. Welcome into A to Z Sports Prime Time from the Palatial Rising Estate here on this Thursday, July the 10th. I'm your host, Buck Rising, and I'm proud as always to be presented to you by the wonderful people at TrueMav Fitness in the Gulch. Tomorrow is my TrueMav day. I love my TrueMav day. I love going to TrueMav Fitness on Friday mornings. It's a great way to start the pre-kend, right? If you're what's the name of that damn show? A Succession fan. The pre-kend, right? What's the pre-kend mean? Well, it's the start to your weekend. The weekend cannot officially begin until the pre-kend is underway. So Friday mornings at TrueMav Fitness are how I get my weekend started, and it's a great way to do exactly that. You can work out 7 days a week at TrueMav. You can work out in their group fitness classes. You can get personal training. You can work out on your own with one of their great membership options, all very cost effective and all free for your first workout at TrueMavFitness.com. When you mention A to Z Sports, Two Rivers Ford, quality American-made Ford vehicles and award-winning customer service on offer. Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet. They've been doing it for over 4 decades. The South's most trusted Ford dealer is Two Rivers Ford. Rookies that need to contribute right away. So there is a case to be made for basically all of these rookies to have to contribute right away, even down to Jackson Slater, who, God forbid, has to start in some form or fashion in 2025. But injuries happen, attrition happens. It's a long football season, and things don't always go to plan. So from Jackson State to Marcus Harris, the 2 sixth-round picks, to guys like Chimere Dike and Alec Iamaner, Gunnar Helm, the 3 fourth-round pass catchers that you have, obviously Cam Ward and the 2 defenders that you took on day 2, that you need to find roles on this team right away. There is no slow playing these things. And I really appreciated Denard Wilson talking about it. Did I get that wrong? Is it not Marcus Harris? What's the name of the corner from Cal? I thought it was Marcus Harris, but I could be mistaken. Robert will correct me here shortly. Either way, I know that they are not going to slow play any of these things because they can't afford to, right? There's going to be no ramp up period for the Tennessee Titans rookies. They need to throw as much at them and are throwing as much as them as humanly possible. And the expectation is for them to keep up. That's his name. Yes, I was right. Thank you, Bird. Validation, affirmation, baby. Marcus Harris. Don't test me, Ann. Although I could have very easily gotten that wrong, and you got my confidence shaken right away. I was like, oh my God, did I get a draft pick's name wrong? Either way, they need all of them to play in some form or fashion right away. Femi Oladejo needs to give them some pass rush snaps. He needs to play a meaningful role in the defense. Marcus Harris needs to be a good depth piece in the secondary. He also needs to play special teams. They need guys like Kyle Mullings, Superman Mullings, to come in here and push Julius Chestnut and give them a true power back in a way that they have not had in quite some time. Even though Tony Pollard had to run a good deal and got hit a lot at the line of scrimmage, we understand that that's not reasonably Tony's game. You want to give him some options when you give him some breathing room. So any versatility that you can get from your running back depth is a plus. And then, of course, there's Cam Ward. And you look around and you say, well, Cam Ward is the most important thing here. Yes, of course. But the rest of these draft picks are going to help build out the belly, the meat of your team. And you need as good a team as humanly possible for Cam Ward to feel fully supported and to give him the best chance to succeed. These things cannot operate independently of one another. So as you look at the rookie class that the Titans assembled in 2025, which rookie is being most actively slept on by Titans fans? We'll talk about it in the comment section on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch. Is how you get involved if you would like to participate there. Let me know which rookie you think is being most actively slept on by the fan base. And we will talk at length together right after I remind you that your Two Rivers Ford take is presented by Two Rivers Ford, who makes it all possible. Quality American-made Ford vehicles, employee pricing for everyone. They're awesome at Two Rivers Ford to offer you such great deals. That means you pay what they pay on almost every new Ford on the lot. Now, Sugar, my 2022 Ford Explorer, she's coming up on her 3rd birthday. I guess it'll be her 4th birthday this coming March. And so not that I'm not faithful, but I was out at Two Rivers the other day shooting some TV commercials, and I was eyeing one of those ruby red Broncos. I'm telling you, boy, they are beautiful, whether it's a Mustang, an Escape, an Edge, whatever your needs for your family's budget and for your family's needs. Two Rivers Ford has you covered. Go to Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet or online at tworiversford.com for more details today. All right. Which rookie is being most slept on? Mr. Know-It-All, which is a great name. I like that name. Maybe that'll be my name. Says, I like X Restrepo. Talking about Xavier Restrepo, the UDFA. Richie also selects Restrepo. I don't think he's being that. You know what? Honestly, because I see a lot of love for Restrepo. How the hell? All right. So explain to me how somebody who's talked about as much as I can't remember a UDFA that's had as much dialogue around him as Xavier Restrepo did. So I don't understand how that player could possibly be slept on. Even if you are down on him because of the 40 time and you're looking at him and saying, but he's small and he's slow and he's kind of more built like a running back than a wide receiver. There is plenty of attention being paid to Xavier Restrepo. Xavier Restrepo is not overlooked. He's not underlooked. He is being way more scrutinized than your average UDFA wide receiver who ran a 4.8 at his pro day. And we understand why he did, but that is still the facts. And the rest of the NFL was content to let him go through the draft process, and Tennessee was able to pick him up. Mr. Know-It-All adds, Jerry Rice didn't have a great 40 time, though. I don't give a shit about Jerry Rice. Xavier Restrepo is not Jerry Rice. Like, why would you even say that? What? All right, Mr. Know-It-All, your name is officially revoked. That's a ridiculous thing for you to say when talking about a UDFA wide receiver and comparing him to Jerry Rice, because neither of them had great 40 times. That's batshit crazy. Title revoked. All right. So with all of the different things, either way, like he may end up being a productive player. He may end up making the initial roster. He may end up being a Tennessee Titans offensive staple for years and years to come. But like, come on, get out of here with Jerry Rice before he's even taken a single snap. David Burns says Cam Ward, I will say he slept on because of his confidence. Slept on because of his confidence, I assume is what David Burns is trying to say. And he slept on league wide, but I'm talking about Titans fans. I'm talking about you all. You all are not sleeping on Cam Ward. In fact, you guys are harassing us at every turn to tell you about what Cam Ward eats for breakfast and what time he wakes up and what time he calls the receiver meetings and all these other things. Like, this is not something that a million other quarterbacks have done before, after, or since Cam Ward. And that's fine. You guys are allowed to absolutely eat up all things first overall pick. Nobody will discourage you from that. I may think it's a bit silly, but that's the nature of fandom. I'm not going to tell you how to fan. Cam Ward is not slept on by Titans fans. This is the important qualifier here. Who are Titans fans in this rookie class sleeping on the most? And I was going to say, well, I'm not sure if Ann is trying to make the joke that I think she's trying to make there. Because I feel like I know Ann's sensibilities a little bit just based on her commentary, not based on her sexual preferences, but based on her commentary. I'm going to assume that is the joke that she is trying to make. DK is the word that she is, of course, hyper-focused on, not the alternative pronunciation. But as you look at this Titans rookie class, there are a couple of guys that have a lot of potential here that may be slept on. I think you can make the case for Alec Iamaner. He was drafted way later than I think he expected to be drafted. Chimere Dike is not somebody who's highly regarded. In fact, Titans fans were questioning the draft position given some of the players who were still on the board. Femi Oladejo is a project player. Perhaps he is being slept on by Titans fans because of his conversion to the position that he currently plays, his late conversion to the position that he currently plays, and also because the Titans might have one of the worst pass rush units in 2025. That remains to be seen, of course. He would have to really, really come in and tear it up for that not to be the case. Their defense, I'm anticipating that their defense is going to be bad. Without knowing what to do with L'Jarius Sneed, I'm assuming that their defense is going to be bad again. Could they surprise us? Of course they could. Now, with all the different things that you have here, as an option, something that would help improve your defense would be adding good players at value, which is why Gord Tyrell selects the correct one tonight, or the rookie that I am going to go with, and that is with Kevin Winston Jr., who is probably the most slept on out of this class and might arguably be, I don't know that I could make the case for him to be the most talented player in the draft class, but relative to his position, he may end up being one of the more talented players at his position league-wide, provided that his health improves and that he makes a routine recovery from the ACL and that he gets to play the kind of high-level football that we all think he's capable of. There's a world in which Kevin Winston Jr. is a better safety than Cam Ward as a quarterback. And that's not really a slight on Cam Ward. Kevin Winston Jr. was just that good of a college football player. But because it was in 2023 and for like 2 games in 2024, you probably don't remember that. And not like you're watching safety play as much as you're watching quarterback play, especially when you have a team like the Titans that you know desperately needed a quarterback solution. So Richie says you can have him, another injury-prone player on the grass. Injury-prone, there's nothing injury-prone about an ACL tear. I mean, you could tear your ACL. I could tear my ACL. Does that make us injury-prone? No. It just means that, our ligament didn't hold up based on the way that we moved on that particular day. An ACL tear is so routine that even if you were going to try and make the case that he's injury prone, there's never been another instance of prolonged injury in his career. So where was the track record to indicate that he is then prone to injury. Just because he had a longer term injury does not make him injury prone. Also, if you have injuries like if you get a concussion and then you blow out your knee, are you injury prone or are you just unlucky? It's like Traylon Burks. Traylon Burks, because he's now had multiple injuries on the same area, his knee, has caused him different issues basically in every year of his career. That, to me, is injury prone. That's the same part of his body. Maybe it's a different ligament or two, but it's the same area of his body that have caused him to miss time in three out of his, this would be Traylon Burks' fourth NFL season. So yeah, he's missed time in all 3 seasons dealing with something knee related, whether it's a knee sprain or an ACL repair or what have you. Like, he has had multiple knee issues. Specifically, Burks and his knee are injury prone. You cannot say that. You cannot say that about the safety Kevin Winston Jr. because Kevin Winston Jr. had an ACL tear, and okay, that's what happened. It's one now. If he has another one, then you can make the case. And they don't take outright a year. It's not quite been a year, but they expect him to be fully ready to go for training camp, and there's no reason to believe otherwise. So right now, I'm operating under the assumption that when we get back to training camp in 13 days from now, which is crazy, in 13 days from now, I'm fully expecting Kevin Winston to at least be in pads and be on, when they are in pads, but to at least be on the field and participating. Shit, Traylon had an ACL repair in January, and in December. And whatever you think of Traylon Burks, like, he's out there doing shit right now. And maybe that's not in his best interest. I have no idea if he's tried to rush himself back or if he's just had a stellar recovery, but there's no set timeline specific to this situation. Kevin Winston Jr. was the steal of this Titans draft, not Cam Ward. Cam Ward was the number 1 overall pick, not Chimere Dike as a 4th-round wide receiver. There were other receivers that were there. You could have gotten, the value can be debated. Maybe Dike turns into a legit player worthy of a high value proposition on a day 3 pick. That's fine. But to get Kevin Winston Jr., a projected 1st-round pick when fully healthy, in the 3rd round, that's not the same as drafting Caleb Farley and taking a risk on an injury-prone player at 22 overall. Those things are not the same. Now, maybe you're somebody, and I completely understand Titans fans who will look around, see the last couple of years of John Robinson and say, just don't draft injured players. Just don't do it. Like, I'm not going to support you drafting injured players. I want guys who are able to participate right away on the field. And I get that. There's going to be some PTSD there. No one would blame you. But 1, you shouldn't hold Mike Borgonzi responsible for John Robinson's sins. 2, everybody in the league tries to find value propositions, and there are players with injuries every year that turn into excellent NFL pros. There are players who come in with injuries every year that don't make it, by the way. These things, that both extremes do exist, but I'm looking at this and saying, by percentage chance, is Kevin Winston more likely to be a successful NFL safety or a draft bust? As a 3rd-round pick, he's basically a flyer. So anything that you're getting out of that position, Amani Hooker was a 4th-round pick as a safety out of Iowa, and Amani Hooker has turned into one of the best players. He is one of the best players on the roster. Now, your roster's been ass in the last couple of years, but still, that doesn't diminish how good Amani Hooker has been. You can find value plays all over the place, especially at non-premium positions. So if this guy this guy probably would have been the 2nd safety off the board. He probably would have gotten drafted before Nick Emanuari, the Seattle safety, the former South Carolina safety, who's a different kind of a player, but still, this is one of the most talented players in the draft. This was somebody who absolutely would have had the pedigree of a 1st-round pick, again, had he not missed the bulk of last season due to a completely routine ACL tear. Now, he was asked about this at rookie minicamp. You're going to hear from him here in just a second, right after I remind you that the Primetime program is presented by the wonderful people at TrueMath Fitness in the Gulch. Go to TrueMathFitness.com. Your first workout is free as a Middle Tennessee resident. No workout ever recycled or repeated. TrueMath Fitness there to work you through the process to help you accomplish your fitness goals, no matter what your level of fitness is. Don't feel intimidated. If you haven't been in the gym in a while and you're just trying to get started, they are there to work you through that process, to help you through that process, to not overexert you, to not max you out, to not push you beyond the point of your abilities, but to help you incrementally get better each and every day. And that's why they're offering you your first workout free, as they have done for their entire partnership. Years upon years has TrueMap offered you this deal. It's a great deal, and they are not they don't back off of the idea that if you do one of their workouts, you will be hooked, just the same way that I am and so many others who go to TrueMap Fitness in the Gulch, conveniently located in downtown Nashville, TrueMapFitness.com. All right, here is Kevin Winston Jr. speaking at rookie minicamp.
You might be somewhat limited as to what you can do out here. What are you able to do out here?
Big thing is taking my mental reps and everything. So I'm just, evolving myself, get with the guys that are around, learn as much as I can mentally. And that's the big thing for me right now, because that's what I need to take advantage of. And that's the biggest part of the game, is that mental part. So that's what I'm doing along with my rehab and everything. So it's just been great so far, and I'm looking forward to keep, building on that.
What can you do physically now? Kind of where are you?
Yeah, I'm doing really good, getting into it, physical things, but, just listening to whatever they tell me, following their procedures and everything, doing my rehab, doing everything I need to do. And, whenever they say I'm ready, that's when I'm going to go and, go and compete.
How are you normally from a patient standpoint? What's it like? I'm sure you're raring to go, holding yourself back.
Yeah, I always want to be out there competing with my guys, going to wars, blood, sweat, and tears with my guys. But right now, I'm understanding I have to control what I can control, and, not put myself, I have to be ready when the time comes. And, I'm fully, believing in the Titans, the rehab staff and everybody in the training room. And, I'm putting my full trust in them, and that's what I'll do, and listen to everything they say.
Some of us been around since I guess your agent John Thornton played here. What did he say? What did he tell you about coming here, and how much is he checking on you already?
Yeah, it's funny. He said it's a great place, and he was actually very happy that I came here when he found out. But, he said it was a great place, and, he said it was a great place for me and everything, for me to be very successful. And I'm happy that, I got drafted to a place that he was drafted to as well.
How enticing is it to have a defensive coordinator in Denard who has such a specific background with the secondary?
Yeah, it's very enticing. Even in the meetings now, he's always, getting with the D-backs and following, see what we're doing. But it's very fun, playing behind a coach that, he's very involved with the defensive backs. And, it's going to be fun going out there and, doing this play call, going out there and playing fast as DBs.
How much do you know about Amani and Xavier at this point?
Yeah, actually, as soon as I got drafted to the Titans, that was the first thing I looked up, the guys that were, the vets, the guys that have been here and have done things in the NFL. And I'm excited to get to know them. And I'm just going to be a sponge to those guys, learn everything from them, be right in their pockets, not just as a player, but as, how to operate like a pro. And that's what I'm looking forward to do. And, obviously go out there and play and compete with those guys.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
So that's Kevin Winston Jr. speaking with the media at rookie minicamp. That was before, of course, OTAs and then mandatory minicamp. Now we fully expect him to be ready for training camp. He was doing some work on the field basically the entire way through with the training staff, and they feel pretty confident about his progress. I think he's going to be a starting player right away, whether he's a box safety or whether he's holding down the back end full-time with Amani Hooker. He is going to be, in some form or fashion, a player who plays the majority of snaps this year. Again, provided that he's healthy. We cannot, and I know I've just made the case on, well, it's not that big a deal to draft a player like Kevin Winston Jr. in the third round. And then I said, well, provided that he's healthy. But I would say that of everybody. Cam Ward should be a meaningful contributor, provided that he's healthy. Kevin Zeitler should be a meaningful contributor, provided that he's healthy. This is something that you say about all football players, not just coming off of a longer-term injury. But there's no reason to think that he can't. I wouldn't say that he can't be as impactful as Cam Ward, because he's a quarterback, of course, Cam Ward. And to compare those two positions would be stupid, and that's not what I'm saying. But if by the end of the year, Kevin Winston Jr. has played more defensive snaps than any rookie, that wouldn't be surprising at all. I mean, and Femi Oladejo is going to have to play a shit ton of snaps here. They need bodies along that front seven to give Arden Key and Draymond Jones and Jalen Harrell some kind of rotation, because whatever this pass rush is going to look like, that secondary is going to need to hold up. And whatever that secondary looks like, because we are still awaiting some kind of confirmation that L'Jarius Sneed is going to be a football player for this team in 2025. He may be on the roster, but like a meaningful part of the roster at this point in time. B French says Kevin 2.0 literally sounds like him. Oh, you mean Byron? Yeah, his I remember making that comment on his draft night on what it was that had been the Friday night of the draft, and he sounded a little more like Byard on his Zoom than he did in person. Because I don't know, just like the energy that he had on draft night, and obviously that was a different setting. But I did hear the same kind of cadence that I remember from Kevin Byard. In fact, I'm going to see Robert. Are we going to this? We going to this celebrity softball game before we go to the WWE match? I've got some shoulders that I need to rub with some famous people to make me feel like I've satisfied my clout meter for the day.
While you're rubbing shoulders, I am a little tense. I could use a nice little rub.
Of all the people that I would give a back rub in my life, you would be the last.
No, not a back, just like my tippy top of my shoulders,
I have. Why don't I just
Mount Vesuvius over here?
Why don't I just
I'm about to
my
explode.
Theragun to work and you can do it yourself?
No, I want you to do it with the Theragun. It's better when you do it. Yeah, I don't give a shit what we do. I'm down to go.
So Kevin Byard is playing in that celebrity softball game, and we were planning on maybe stopping by or at least buying some tickets because it's for a good cause.
See if they have a raffle.
Well, one of the a raffle.
Do you think they'll do a raffle there?
Do I think they'll do a raffle? I have no idea.
They should. You're really missing out if you don't. Because here's the thing about raffles. Most people are taught and raised the right way. They saw their daddy, they saw their granddaddy or grandmom or whoever win a raffle one time. And if it's for a charitable donation, you will give half of the money they raised back to them. I am not that nice.
Yeah.
If I win a raffle, I want all the money. Thank you, man. Put it in my envelope, and I'm splitting feet out of the event. I'm not raised right. For this, I would potentially give back my entry fee.
B Friend says Buck and Bert, y'all should play in the charity softball game. No, we're going to the WWE match, and also
it's also for celebrities. So like maybe
I've played in the celebrity softball game for the Sounds before. What celebrity softball games have you played in?
Who didn't go? So they needed you to do it.
Lawan back there. I was an alternate. That's fine. I'll be an alternate. My gift bag was just as expensive as it would have been otherwise.
I've also played in a celebrity softball game once.
Where?
For a church.
Who was the most famous person there?
Me, probably.
Yeah. Get off the screen.
Okay. All right, give me a kiss real quick.
Get it out of here. I'd be a terrible traffic broadcaster. I don't know how they do it. The green screen thing messes me up. Right is left and left is right. Either way, maybe I'll see Kevin tomorrow. I know he's playing for the Nashville Stars team, and that should be a good time. It's a really cool event, by the way, that they're having in Hawkins Field. It's Jordan Matthews, the former Vandy wide receiver. Kevin Byard is playing in the game. Philip Forsberg. I saw a lot of different athletes, a lot of Vandy legends, of course, Shane Foster. Tony Kemp, I think, is a part of the game. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if you don't have plans on a Friday night and you're not going to the WWE match like we are, gates open at 5 for that thing. So I think we still have to. Also, Darren Bates. I haven't seen Bates in so long, and it would be great to see him. So we're definitely going to the after party with all of those people, Bert, but we can do that after we go to the WWE match. We will not disclose the location of the after party because I love you all, but no. Anyway,
we were going to.
What?
I thought you said we were going to go to. You keep removing me from the screen before I can say the location. I thought you said we were going.
Nobody thinks he's as funny as he does. Get out of here.
Bye.
Get out.
That was good.
All right. So, weekend bounce back. Who needs to bounce back most in sports this week? Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch in the comment section. Ann Herndon says, my wife laughs at Bert and not at Buck. Yeah, that's the story of my life. It's exhausting. That's fine. I'll be your clown. Anyway, let's do a little weekend bounce back. Who needs to bounce back most in sports this week? There are several candidates. Najee Harris hit himself in the eye with a firework. It sounds like he's a good bounce back candidate. What else did I see today that was bounce back worthy? I saw, the Najee Harris thing. He injured his eye on a 4th of July incident. Evan Silva was on the radio show like 4 days ago asking us about this, and we had no idea what the hell he was talking about. And it took until today for the NFL newsbreakers to get a hold of it. So when the gambling guys have information and they ask you about it, assume that it's so. 9 times out of 10 feels like a pretty safe bet. So Najee Harris is a great bounce back candidate in particular. He's expected to be available for the start of the season, so I don't think it is that big a deal. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers also need to bounce back. Getting ready to start the season without their franchise left tackle, one of the best players of the position, Tristan Wirfs, him dealing with a knee injury right out of the gate and going. They haven't disclosed how much time specifically he could miss, but that's a big hit to sustain in July before training camps even begun. So those two would probably be the best bounce back candidates of the week so far. I can't think of any others off the top of my head. That's going to do it for us tonight. We appreciate you hanging out. Radio show tomorrow. We have Chris Doring of the SEC Network. We have Coach Mack of Titans Radio. That'll be a lot of fun. We have Robert. We have Lucas. We even have me for 3 hours, so you can hang out with us. If you're going to the WWE event tomorrow, make sure you say hi. I don't know what I'm going to do. I've never been to a wrestling event before. Robert is a diehard wrestling fan. I'm going to be in his element, which makes me deeply uncomfortable. Normally, he's forced to be in my gravitational pull here, but unfortunately for me, the sun is. I'm going to be revolving around Robert Walsh's son at Bridgestone Arena during the WWE event. So hopefully, he said, "Don't embarrass me in front of my people," which is one of the funniest things I've ever heard him say to me. But we'll see how it goes. We'll have a full report on the Monday show. Don't you worry about that. That's going to do it for us tonight. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. on 104.5 The Zone. Have a great rest of your weekend if I don't catch you there.
There's a very low percentage of this that is smiles.